Hello and welcome back to TED Talks Truth and Reality about without aggressive security, we, the people, face inevitable peril. Without a strong national defense and without a strong will to protect our borders, every single one of us will face peril and harm. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month. However, within a year, surely within 5-10 years, every single one of you will personally have known or been involved in some sort of terrorist attack. That may sound bold, but I believe it's true. Stop and examine with truth and with reality what is going on in the world as we sit here today. We have an entire mentality or mindset of jihad terrorists, all of them Muslim, all of them with a hate for infidels and the Western way, a group of people who suppress women, still have slaves, still chop heads off of children, shove crucifix in the eyes of babies, hang people upside down until they die, and then brag about it and say they're coming to America to repeat that same barbaric savagery. And we quietly and silently sit here in America battling over stupid shit. I guess I hate to say that, but when you really examine how every second and every minute of our days are wasted as we battle over, whose grass is greener, whose shoes are better, the war on women. I mean, women should be leading the forefront in the charge against the radical Sharia. I guess, it scares me to even say it, way of life where religious tenets dominates every single minute of a woman's life, where they're covered up and herded around like cattle and traded and used, while women over here falsely fight over a $9 or $10 a month payment on contraceptives. How ludicrous and silly that appears to the young girl who's getting raped at 10 or 9 by dozens of barbarians, savages. What else can you call people who value human life so little? And we need to be more aware that we have to self-enlighten ourselves to the fact, to the truth, to the reality that wicked things are around the bend. And this boils down to my general discussions I've had in previous talks about selfism. Underlying the surface of every person on this earth, every leader on this earth, is a war and a struggle between right and wrong, good and bad, good and evil. Evil is not afraid to do whatever it has to do to win and dominate and threaten and punish and kill the non-believers. Good sometimes takes a long time to become awakened to the facts, and that means the people. We have to become more aware and more aggressive in our thinking and protecting ourselves, instead of joining parties and platforms that fight meaningless issues while overlooking this threat of our future, our children. And as I said, within 10 years, at the rate we're going, bad things are going to happen here in our homeland unless we become more aggressive in our approach to our borders, to Ebola and the virus as it mutates and transfers around the world. Could you imagine, as I said in my last talk, terrorists currently planning an attack And it only takes one of them to come across with a dirty bomb, or one of them to come across with the funds and the monies, or the chemical weapons, or infectious diseases. And don't tell me it's not happening. Just look at the I don't want to say epidemic, but the plague that's come just with our porous borders and allowing, out of the kindness of our heart, women and children from Latin America. They brought lice, scabies, infectious tuberculosis. I've even heard of hoof and mouth disease outbreaks in this enterovirus that is starting to paralyze and kill children all across where they have been allowed to settle. That's truth and that's reality, and to bury our heads up our butts or in the sand is avoiding the responsibilities we the people have, and that is a self-responsibility to dig in and face truth and face reality, and stop chasing fancy and fantasy and the way you would like things to be, but face the reality of the things the way they are. And currently, they are terrible. Our economy is down the tube when all we have to do is just make a couple quick decisions, and I would recommend that they open the Keystone pipelines, and they open up federal lands for exploration. I would hope that they would make a flat tax for businesses and individuals. It would get rid of the IRS, which is probably the best result of that. I think people would even take a higher rate just to get rid of them. But it would help stabilize and lift the burden of big government, because big government is crushing the middle class, as I said last week, between the poor class that is depending upon the support of the government, and that middle class is the support of both ends, and it is being squeezed to the point that I see it and I hear it just walking down the streets or in the grocery store, or as I drive past desolated towns and villages and businesses. And we continue to fight over meaningless, selfish, me first, tiny little personal realities and views, while the big thing is just circling us and going to crush us and take away all those little things that you take for granted. I think we need to put an honest, open, transparent, heartfelt effort into educating the young people who are really lost in this media internet world while all this stuff is happening around them. They, above all, could spread the word and spread the truth and spread the reality that the battle between good and evil is real. It's in every person's heart, in every person's mind, and every person's family, every person's community, every person's institution, their workplace, their government especially, because they breed and propagate this selfism to the point where the news media is complicit and explicit in supporting meaningless, goofy crap, while avoiding the truth and avoiding reality. All this stuff we argue over now could soon be a thing of the past as we face community terrorism. The lone wolf, they say, is the worst one. More reason for less gun control and more people being able to protect their community and their family, if by chance, and pray there never is that chance, that nut in your community is the nut that blows off and causes harm. And it happens. I mean, we've seen it in Aurora, we've seen it in Newton, we've seen it in all the situations where it just takes one nut to blow and something bad happens, and we're not ready for that. I hope and I pray that it soon will, and in my next discussion on Wednesday, I need to take this up and wrap up some things just before I start promoting and talking about my book. So, in closing, please keep in mind that you and you alone are the only thing that's going to change your life and eventually change your reality. Those things that have happened in the past and to this point in time have happened the only way they could. But going forward, nothing has to be the same. It doesn't have to be the same old you or the reality you live. So dig down deep, start preparing to listen to me tell you how I discovered the self-enlightenment and how easy it was to just slow down and love every minute and moment that you have in life, and take each minute and moment as an opportunity to do good for yourself and your family and your friends. So until we meet again, Godspeed.